Welcome to Laugh Cryer's Eye. This is a comedy disability podcast hosted by me, Steve Wilbury. And as always, is my co-host Naomi Strain.
Hello.
We're here to look at a life on the other side of health through a lens of those who've been othered by the great society, spazzes, if you will.
I've
Ones who
I've
don't.
been othered. I don't like being othered.
I actually use that. So one of the things that I did whilst I've been in Edinburgh Fringe is I use it in my hat line now. So there was a street performer there whose name I cannot remember because I can't remember anything. But she had the disease where you get all chesty.
A cough.
I'm gonna get pilloried by the cystic fibrosis. That's the one.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and we were just talking about like being spazzes and performers and stuff. And she was saying that she started putting it in her show in a thing about how like there's a long tradition in sideshow and stuff because she does sword swallowing things of like disabled people being like, ta-da, give me some money, I can't eat
No
otherwise,
wonder
I'm not
she's
good for
no
anything
wonder
else.
she's no wonder she's got a chesty issue going on if she's sticking swords down the throat. Geez, that'd be the first thing the doctors should be looking at. Are you stabbing yourself down the throat? Jesus.
Doctor, I have a terrible cough. How many swords are in your lungs per day, would you say?
So please continue. Sorry.
um yeah, and basically she's saying when, and she doesn't know if she thinks the same people donate, but they probably donate a little bit more since she started mentioning it. And she said, when you do it, you can see people in the audience go, oh, yeah, like it clicks. And I did it in my show. Like when someone's doing something, I show my tattoo and I do a quick little spiel. And you can see people go, oh, yeah, like it's like it like fits into a narrative in their brain. Because otherwise, why would you be a street performer when you can be a doctor?
Right, right, yeah.
Accountant or anything that involves being inside.
So that's like cashing in on the disability rather than just happening to have one.
Yeah, pretty much. Why not?
But that's a good call because I don't know if you remember the documentary thing I did, A Little Shaky, which was basically me talking at the camera.
Yeah.
It was the little film I put into the film festival. But when I first looked at releasing something along those lines, it was actually before I recorded it, I talked to another filmmaker friend and said, oh, I'm looking at doing a film, basically writing a script and doing a film using the seizures as inspiration, and it was going to come at it from the angle of you would think it was domestic violence, and it turns out it's not, it's the seizures, da. And his reaction was, well, that's just cashing in on it, isn't it? Like quite derogatory. And it's
Right.
like, well, surely I'm allowed to get something from being disabled. Like that's not cashing in unreasonably.
Tom Segura, who doesn't mentor me, he says your job as a stand-up is to live your life and then report it. That's what most stand-up comics do. They talk about their lives. But when your life every day is oh my god, there's shit on my hand. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm
how do you
supposed
make
to
that
just not have
entertainment?
that be part of my art, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, because if you or I didn't talk about our disability, what the fuck would we talk about? We have nothing else. Like,
Politics. We could talk about
oh,
physics.
we could, because we're
Talk
both very
about
intelligent.
we could talk about the existential philosophies of 19th century Parisian uh, poets.
Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll go read up.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
just do it. Just it's fine. You know it already.
Imagine that. Imagine being thrown in right at the deep end if now I had no choice but to
Mm.
discuss that with you. I would have no clue where to start.
Here's a good place to start, Naomi. Lying.
Ah, that's good life advice.
Have you thought about lying? Professionally as a magician, it does make me money.
You're the expert, true.
I am
I
very
should
good.
lie more. I don't lie nearly enough. Ask me something. Ask me a question.
Have you seen any ducks recently?
Any ducks? Funny
Yeah.
story, actually. When I was in town the other day, there was a duck eating some vomit in the middle of town.
I wish that was a lie.
It is! Hooray!
Yay!
That was good. That was some good acting right there.
I was like, wow, there it is. There it really did happen. But it didn't because you did lies.
Yeah, I see that's why I'm on stage, because I'm
Yeah,
so good at just,
so good doing lies. Just a
yeah.
big old hour, like they're on Star Trek. I'm a starship captain. No, you're not. Just a liar. Fucking liar. That's not real. You can't do that. Bloody lies. A lot of them.
Right. All right. Tell me about what is going on for you, because you said you're not at the Fringe Festival anymore. What are you doing
I
now?
think the last time we managed to record something was just like in the doorway of my venue. I finished 19 shows at Edinburgh Fringe with a week off in the middle to do street shows. And I got a 5-star review, and it was well attended for Edinburgh Fringe. It still lost money because the whole thing is a fucking scam. But it was really good for me to do. And because of the connections I made, I'm doing a show in Vegas on the way home.
Woo, an actual show in
An
Vegas.
actual, and I'm gonna slip Stacy $20 to put me at the end so I can say I headlined Vegas.
Yeah, that's great. That can be on future posters.
There you go, Vegas
And that's so
headliner.
good. That's like not even like, oh, you can come on and do a slot. Like you're doing your actual full show.
No,
How
no,
how what
it's just a spot.
how long's your slot?
2 7 minutes.
How many, sorry?
2 7-minute spots.
Nice. That's really good.
And you know
And
what's really nice as well? I'm in Dallas, Texas. Cannabis is illegal, which means that Delta 9 THC is illegal. But Delta 8 THC and CBD are legal. So I have a vape pen that's got CBD and a little bit of not the normal THC, and it's great for my pain. I'm not quite like I still get the effect, but my brain's more functional, I'd say, and I'm not as
what's the
twitching.
difference? What's the
The
difference between
hydrogen atom is in a slightly different place
oh. Why is one legal and one not?
because the law is stupid.
That's fair enough. So if
Mm.
it's illegal, where are you getting your stuff from?
There's
Oh,
this shop around the corner that literally just does CBD products. They do gummies and vapes
oh.
and drops and every different like topicals and all kinds of stuff.
And is that stuff that you can get in New Zealand?
Um, I don't think you can't get the different THC types, mostly because you don't need it, I guess, because the legal stuff is legal.
Right. Mm.
Um, but yeah, I'm definitely into the little oil, like a vape pen without having to mess with the flower or anything is really handy.
Yeah, yeah. It's great. You're going on like a drugs holiday and you're testing the
I'm
drugs from
going
around the
to
world.
Vegas where they have real dispensaries, and I am going shopping.
And when you come back to New Zealand, you're going to be having a suitcase full of party tricks.
Well, I'm allowed to bring in a month's supply of a medical prescription, and I still have my British medical card. So I'm gonna bring
Nice.
in a month's supply of stuff.
Nice. So when we spoke a while ago, you were hoping to see if you could meet up with Penn and Teller or one of the.
Oh yes, so we went to see Penn and Teller in Oklahoma just 2 days ago.
Mhm.
And this was the original plan was to not go to Vegas and just see Penn and Teller in Oklahoma, and it would be easier. And so my plan was to ambush Penn and Teller after the show because they always come out and chat after the show, and
Mm.
they come out and chat after the show in Vegas. They don't do it in the show in Oklahoma because that one they have to pack up and go out. In Vegas, they can just come out and then just get their hotels home,
Okay. Okay.
10 minutes later. Um, so they didn't come out and chat, so I didn't get to ambush Penn and Teller, but I did make my two gimmicks really well. So when I do show them, it's going to look really cool. But we are going to Vegas, so I'm going to go there and do a show, and then we're going to see Tape Face,
Oh yeah, yeah.
who's actually friends of friends. So we're going to go hang out after the show and say hi.
Nice.
And then we're going to go see Penn and Teller again. And then we come home and then we pack and then we go back to New Zealand.
And you're only in Nelson for a short amount of time, aren't you? And then you're off to
Just like
Christchurch.
2 days and then we're off to Christchurch. Yeah.
Bugger.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to
Yeah.
that?
The thing is I've gotten away with being a round peg in a world designed for square pegs because I've refused to play the game. I got the house bus, I kept my rent low, I didn't have to do as well as an able-bodied person.
Mm-mm.
But now Lewis is a bit bigger and Rachel wants a house again. So now we're like having to make like, okay, I need $600 a week for rent minimum, you know?
Wow.
Which is doable, but it's a bit stressful. There is an interesting contract as a recreation worker for the Christchurch City Council summer holiday program, doing like youth worky stuff, which would be really good to
You'd
get
be
in
good
it.
at that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it'd be good. It would fill up the first summer and then can look towards. I got the Adelaide people really want me to apply for funding to go to Adelaide Fringe with the show because they have a big disability pride section.
Ah, okay. That's
Um,
good.
yeah, the lady was really keen and she like had her calendar out to come and see my show, but I conflicted with some fancy industry party that was already there. So she couldn't come see my show. But yeah, she said apparently 1 in 5 South Australians identify as a disability and they show up to see their stories and stuff. So interesting to see how Adelaide goes.
Yeah, yeah. Some more international things under your belt.
Well, it's a more chilled out Edinburgh Fringe, which is great because it's
Mm,
not crammed into a medieval city that's not designed for it. It's more like spread out in a normal city.
yeah.
And it's half the size. It's 1,400 shows instead of 3,500. And if I can get funding, then fuck, why wouldn't I go? You know?
Yeah. Did you manage to promote us at all?
Yeah.
'Cause I remember you saying ages ago that you tried to give a sticker to somebody in a wheelchair and they
Yeah,
kind of
they
told
were
you to
not
fuck
on it.
off.
They were not on it. They were not keen. Um, but no, I did. I gave quite a few stickers out actually. Um, to lots of spazzy performers mostly. I gave stickers to.
Nice, nice. It's funny, I've been asked to be in something for Nelson Fringe next year.
Hmm.
And it's a real privilege to be asked to do this play, but it's an hour and it would just be me on stage and it's
Mhm.
constant. And so it's like a 20-page monologue of
Mhm.
dialogue. It's not much physical stuff. It's sitting there talking a lot. And I'm in sort of two minds about it. So it's a real privilege to be asked to do it, but they don't know anything about me. I don't know the people.
Hmm.
And I went to like a matchmaker thing for the Fringe where, people can go, oh, I need an actor, I need a whatever.
Hmm.
And they liked my vibe, basically.
Right.
Didn't know my previous work, but they liked my vibe. So they beelined at me. And I met them the other day for a coffee. And they said that they had stalked me, basically, had a look, and they found the podcast. And
Right.
my first reaction was, oh, okay, because they're both like 70. And I thought, oh, I
Yeah.
wonder what they're going to make of this. And she said one of the things that kind of sold her on me, and none of it's definite yet, but one of the things that sold her on me was she scrolled through the podcast until she found my story. So like
Hmm.
episode 2 or something. All those
Yeah.
many, many
Many,
eons
many
ago.
episodes ago.
Many, many episodes
Tens of
ago.
episodes. Tens, I say.
And and she said that one of the things that she really liked was my complete candor. Like
Hmm.
she said there was like no secrets, no reticence about saying what my story is, and like basically balls to the wall kind of, this is me,
Mm,
this is me. And that's what like her play is about, her life, and so she's
mm,
just completely open about it. And it was really nice to know that other people appreciate that complete openness about it, because we do the podcast and we know that we're completely open, and when we talk one on one with people, generally I think people appreciate that openness. But
mm,
it's nice for somebody that I don't know, who goes in completely cold, knowing nothing about me,
mm.
to watch it and go, that resonates. That felt really
Well,
special.
like people who watch it apparently do like it. It's just
Mm.
getting it in front of people's faces, which is, I mean, the thing that I really learnt from The Fringe was the game isn't having a good show or being a good performer. It's showing up every year and burning money on a fire until you make enough of a dent in the noise, and then you can start looking at profit. If I go back, I would definitely do free Fringe. I would never do a paid venue ever again.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, no, it's a scam.
In what way?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a scam, but the only people who make money are the landlords and the organizations that rent out the venues. And
Right.
like food traders, Rachel made a ton of money doing face painting. Um, and I have friends who make tons of money street performing, but when you have to pay that venue hire fee, it just kills it. That's why
Mhm.
the Free Fringe started 20 years ago, where there's no venue hire and you just put a hat out afterwards,
Right.
almost
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
busking with an indoor show.
Yeah.
And I've got a mate who's been doing it for 10 years and he would never leave the Free Fringe because it's the Fringe is just a relentless money extraction machine from artists.
Yeah, because the fringe really is supposed to be on the side of the creatives.
And to be
You would have,
fair, the Fringe Society are really good. They organize lots of events. There's like free food in the Fringe Hub. It's the companies that like have banded together and have like 6 or 7 venues, or like the ones that have half of a garden and they have, and it's like it's a proper corporate venture.
right.
But they also have like a 200-year-old Spiegel tent that's beautiful, and people want to play
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's frustrating. What
Mm.
about, is the Adelaide one the same as that?
So with Adelaide, the hot goss is that there are two venues. One's called Gluttony and one's called the Garden of Unearthly Delights.
Hmm.
And if you're not, I know, sounds lovely, right? If you're not in either of those, you're fucked. Because apparently it used to be that those two would sell out, and then the overflow from that would go to like the other venues and stuff. But they've added capacity in the last 3 or 4 years after COVID. So now those don't sell out, and people just go. They think that the Garden of Unearthly Delights is the Fringe. Like that's
Ah,
great.
okay. So if
Um,
you don't get into that one, then is it worth it still?
if I don't get into one of those and I don't get funding, then no. If I get funding, and then I would have to go someplace. But I think if I got funding, I would probably be more likely to get programmed into one of the good venues anyway.
Right. Where does a disabled person like yourself apply for funding?
You go to the Adelaide Fringe website, and they have a funding stream for international or Australian presenters. It's the same way I got. So last year I got funding for Dunedin Fringe and Wellington Fringe, New Zealand Fringe. And I've never gotten funding from Creative New Zealand, but from the actual fringe societies, you can apply for funding, and they do like the diversity disabled angle.
Nice. Again, cash in on it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like it's not like I'm reaching for something that
yeah, yeah.
it's like that is. And they even, for Adelaide Fringe, there's like a mental health award as well for like stories that support mental health journeys and stuff.
Ah,
So
okay, okay. So, I mean, we just want to be treated the same as everyone else, but with special gifts.
yeah, pretty much.
So if you can play it for Adelaide, if you can be you're physically disabled, if you can cry as well,
Mm,
bit sad, and also play up the queer angle,
mm.
then you're in. Is there anything else you can be? Cut something off of yourself.
So an amputee.
Hmm.
I could be maybe. I don't know. I could become a furry.
Mm.
Does that
I
attract
mean,
funding?
yeah, and ugly with a weird
Just being
walk.
a ugly just being an ugly twat. Just a big old
Yeah,
potato
yeah.
face cunt.
Yeah, if you put on the application in other information that you're just hideous to look at.
Just a big ugly potato face.
Yeah, with bad
Horrible.
breath and
Just
dirty
ugh.
fingernails.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Basically a troll. Basically.
Yeah, I'd employ
But
you.
but alive. And not miserable.
Oh, you talked about the different venues a moment ago. My two films have been accepted into Top of the South Film Festival,
You
which I'm
fancy
very
bitch.
pleased. I know, I'm very pleased about. Um, but with no bitterness whatsoever. One of them is in the gold reel, brilliant. It's the shorter one. Love that it's in the gold reel. The other one that was my baby that I worked so hard on that I did really good acting in, and my co-star Donna did awesome acting in, and it's been a
Hmm.
hell of a long process getting it made, and I was very excited. It was one of my best scripts, I feel. Made it into the silver reel, which is
Oh,
wonderful,
is
great,
it though? Or is it
but
an insult?
also
Is it a vicious, is it a calculated insult?
yeah, I said to my friend Donna that it's like, when you think your child is the most beautiful, and then you get the school photos back and realize your kid is the ugly one in the class. It feels like that. Like, other people didn't think that it's as good as I thought. And so I'm a bit sad about that. But then I thought, like, at the film festival, for the gold reel screening and the silver reel screening, they're both $25 to go to them. And so
Right.
obviously we all, as filmmakers, we go to both. And
Right.
but the general public, the punters, go, should I go to the gold reel with all the really good films, or for the same price go to the silver reel, which is not as good? Why would you do
Why do
that?
they even have it like that?
I hate that it's gold and silver. It should be, and a lot of the film festivals do this, is when there's so many films that they want to show, is they have this named reel, like I don't know,
Yeah.
it might be the Kaikoura reel, and the other one's the a Christchurch reel or something.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
name the two reels differently, so you can split the films between two, and you might secretly do good and bad, but
Hmm.
you split them between the two, and then people can choose. Like I know is it the Banff Film Festival, and they do a lot of outdoorsy stuff and adventure things like snowboarding or mountain biking or yachting or whatever. They do all these different adventure related films, and they have two reels, and one will be more sort of water based and exploring that, and the other one will be more mountain based.
Hmm.
So you've got a vibe towards each
Yeah.
one, and so they could do something similar, to this, or completely mix it up. But yeah, doing it gold and silver very much. It's like the best films getting this one, and then the ones that don't score quite as highly go in
Yeah.
the silver.
Sounds like small town arts bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's good to have something to aim for the gold standard.
No, but that's
But
bullshit. Who says it's the gold standard? Who? Is it an internationally renowned art critic or is it some fucking twats with hats?
well, at the moment, because I'm cross, it's some fucking twat.
Some
But
fucking twats. Do you
but
have if it's like okay, I would accept a gold and silver if there was like an independent, internationally accredited professor of film swag who was like, that's gold, that's silver. I'd be like, all right, I'll take it. That's fine. Take it
yes,
on.
yeah,
But if it's just like Billy Lemaine and Donna Booth No, but Donna Booth, that's your friend. Sorry. I was trying to make up fake names and I failed miserably. But if it's just some fucking twats, which even reviewers, that's all they are. They're just some fucking twats.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And they do have a bunch of judges that are, various things
yeah, but are
around.
they the ones who split the gold and silver? No, that's the programmers. Programmers, bunch of
Mm.
twats.
Well, I think they watch it and they score each film, and then it's the top scorers get in.
Yeah. So again, who decides? So they score each film, and so the film the film when they're hungry for lunch, do you think that's going to get higher or lower scores? The film when they've just eaten, when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's the fifth one they've watched and they're tired, do you think that's going to get a fair score? No, it's bullshit.
I like the things you're saying because it makes them at fault, not me.
But the thing is it's like, but that's, they had breakdancing in the Olympics. And a lot
Yes.
of break dancers in Australia, like the really good people, didn't apply because they thought, it's their art expression and it shouldn't be quantified and judged like that. And
Right.
you can say the same thing about a short film. It's not something that can be like, go to the goodest Olympics. Like, you can't say what the goodest film is. You can say what the best type of film, that if I want to feel a real like exciting time, I'll watch Mad Max or Furiosa, something like that. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't say that's better than a really good kitchen sink drama. They're just different flavors.
Very subjective. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the thing is, it kind of fosters a negative judgment because,
Hmm.
and I know this from many years now going to the film festivals, is that anybody that I've spoken to who's got into the silver reel, they go to the gold reel with the mindset of which one of these films is shit that I should have been in place of. Basically, the conversation afterwards is
Yeah.
often, how did that get in and I didn't?
Hmm.
You know, and everyone that I've ever spoken to about their view on getting into the silver, and it's all the conversations around that. And so with a society like the top of the South, it's not as huge as other places, and so then it becomes a little personal.
Yeah.
you know
Exactly.
it's not
This
just on a
is the
professional.
bullshittery.
And
Small
so
town art.
what because yesterday I was in a mood because I found out that I was in the silver, and I should be pleased, and I am, but I was in a bad mood, and Donna was sending me lovely supportive messages, and she was sending me, positive affirmations and things,
Hmm.
and I was like, yeah, but I'm grumpy right now. Thanks
Hmm.
for all the lovely things, but I'm in a mood, and I really was in a mood. So I worked on one of my scripts,
Hmm.
and I've got it into a good place, and I like it and I want to make it, but my confidence is shot. But I thought I will make it with no intention of putting it into the local film festival, and I will put it into national ones, or
Hmm.
potentially, but like once I haven't even made it yet, it might be shit. But I think if I go into it with the mindset of it's not to compete locally.
Yeah. No, but no one tells you that your stuff's ready to be a big leaguer, that you're a headliner, like
Mm,
an entertainer or an actor or anything. You just have to go, actually, this isn't worth my time. There are things that I can get better rewards from than investing in this.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like I went when we first got to Edinburgh, I went to like a full blown open mic and I waited for like 90 minutes to do a 5 minute set. And I was like, nope, nope. That time in my life has passed. I do not do that anymore.
Yeah, it's that kind of risk reward, isn't it?
But yeah, but you have to value your time enough.
Yeah, yeah. That's something that I'm struggling with. Other things is like trying to get roles and doing the plays and stuff. It's like I'm not a newbie anymore. I don't
Hmm.
have to accept shit. Like I don't have to be looked down on, because I was feeling quite invalidated, and a bit nostalgic because in the past, before being full-time spaz, I could do achievements and I could feel like, oh, I'm getting, I don't know, respected or appreciated for my
Hmm.
skills. Whereas the last sort of couple of years have felt like I'm not looked at somebody with capabilities. and I
Mm.
feel I can prove myself over and over again,
Mm.
but I'm not as valid or as skilled,
So
or as sought after. And it's, it's me putting that on myself, but also I do get overlooked in certain situations, like brainstorming to do a short film, and I'm trying not to identify the situation, not that they'll ever hear it, but with a group of people trying to brainstorm for a short film, and I was coming up with some great ideas, right?
Mm.
And there was a couple of new guys that were in the group, and they were listened to on everything.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
yeah. Have you forgotten that you're a woman?
there was a huge element of that, and I try
Yeah,
not to, get caught up in it, but it was very much boys
yeah.
listen to, girls
It
out.
is 100% a
Mm,
real.
yeah, and I would get like oh yeah, great idea, and then back to
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
were
no,
saying.
yeah.
And the funny, I won't say funny, but the thing is, one of the guys went away to overnight write the script on kind of the ideas that we had
Yeah.
all agreed on, and
Mm.
so off he went to write the script. And the next morning, because it's part of the competition, 48-hour film
Mm.
competition, and I got a message the following morning saying, I'll be there to pick you up in 20 minutes. The script that was written overnight is shit, so we're starting from scratch. And it was like, oh fuck, that's not good, not on a time sensitive
Mm.
project. And so whilst I was waiting to be picked up, I thought, oh, maybe I'll write something just in case we get stuck. And so I knocked out a script in 20 minutes, got
Mm.
picked up, went to where we're all meeting, and it was like, oh, we don't have a script. And so one of the guys, who is not a writer, is very new to acting, done a couple of things, very new, and he's good, give him that.
Mm.
We've not written anything, but because it was, the boys' club, they were
Mm.
like, okay, everyone just don't, and he'll write the script. And it was, I said, oh, I've got a script there, and it's good. It's a good
Mm.
script that I knocked out in 20 minutes, and it fit all the criteria for the competition. Had a great story arc. It used the actors that we had, that, because everyone wants to do the acting, and it had roles for all the people who
Mm.
wanted to be an actor. It's a bloody good 48-hour script. And so we were like faffing around trying to get this script. And I was like, I have one. Like, it's ready. We can start filming right now.
Mm.
And it was like, oh yeah, yeah. And then completely dismissed. It's frustrating when you feel you're trying to get taken seriously. But I mean, some of that will be my self-judgment as well. Um, and so it's tricky trying to separate what
That's why
is,
I stopped making films, because people are twats, especially
but
people who think they're arty, who live in small
y-
towns.
yeah, it is that small town mentality, and it's very much who you know, but on a much more, a smaller scale than on the big
But the
stage.
thing is, like, if you scale it up, the only thing that changes is the number of people.
Yeah, the number of
It's
assholes.
yeah, exactly, and the amount of shit. There's
But
more ass.
Stephen, may I ask you,
You may.
how do you separate the things about you that are shit because of the disability, and the things that are shit about you just because of who you are? Like, people may overlook me because of a disability and perhaps my reliability or something like that.
Yeah.
And it would be easy to blame rejection on that. But how
Mm.
much about it is just because I'm not a good person, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not clever enough, I'm not funny enough, just as a person?
I think that's, but the thing is, I think the real key to that, if you're looking at that from like say a casting perspective,
Mm,
um, is it's not that not you're not pretty enough, it's that you're not pretty enough for this very specific set of circumstances, or
mm,
you
mm.
don't have the right. It's not that you're less than whatever the bar of goodness or greatness or the X or whatever. It's that they want somebody with a slightly bigger chin because that's just the way the wind is blowing.
Right,
You know.
yeah. I mean, I
Um,
did say to somebody recently that acting is a really weird one, because you have to have a really big ego and also zero ego, because you have to have
mm,
that big enough ego that you want to be in front of people and be, look at me doing an amazing thing, being on
mm,
stage, commanding people's attention. So
Mm.
you have to have a big ego, and not necessarily, not in a negative way, but that sense of self. You have to be, I've got a
Yeah.
big ego. But you also have to have absolutely zero ego, because you're going to get rejected, and dismissed and overlooked. Because, like you say, it's the face that fits. Like if somebody
Mm.
said to me, we're looking for a 6-foot black man, I'm not the right look for that. And so
No.
I couldn't take that as a rejection, And so you have to have a huge ego and also zero ego. It's quite a
Mm.
juxtaposition of things.
I'm gonna have to wrap up. My pain's starting to go.
Go deal with that.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Laugh Cry Die. If you've enjoyed us, make sure you follow us and listen to all of our things loudly by loudspeakers, and then play our podcast through it as you drive through a town. We have been your hosts, and you have been the listener people. Tell your friends, enjoy yourselves, find a sticker.
See you.